Hello everybody, my name is Angolan. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 New Order as America. Let us continue on for last left off. So, three major things. One, Richard Nixon has quit. Currently, the president now is JFK. Nothing bad could happen to the Kennedys. Secondly, we've gotten some great encirclements. We've crushed two, and we're about to crush a third encirclement in South Africa. And thirdly, tensions in England are rising quickly. We've guaranteed the independence of the British, which means we are not going to allow the Germans just to do whatever the hell they want. But we might want to get our readiness up a little bit more. We have 32 political power. We need 250. Political cost for decision will decrease as the crisis progresses. Breaking point in 80 days. A deal is reached or one side is retreated. Okay, firstly, uncertainty of the enemy's readiness will decrease by a random amount. Let's spam that. And then we'll take you. And then we'll launch our own air patrols. So we know that they're now between 29.6 and 100%. So we know minimum. We know the minimum. Standoff in the channel. Rising tensions, rising commitments. Fuck was the first word out of President John F. Kennedy's mouth when he received the news. Just as the Doves predicted, seeing condemnations from their nest of olive branches, the Reich had doubled their efforts to snuff out freedom in England. Troop deployments on the western districts, naval maneuvers, 100 damning reports from the CIA's European office, all suggested the Germans would not give up easily. He needed a moment to think for himself, away from his aides and cabinet. When they left, he stared out the Rose Garden, where the passing tour group walked between the hedges, oblivious to the turmoils within the West Wing. He made a decision to escalate, to send troops to the ships to the Channel, and he did not regret it. Technically, Richard Nixon didn't, because I didn't press the event fast enough, but don't worry about that. He would have been a fool, a coward and a traitor to deny himself this one chance to light a torch of freedom in Europe's umbra. But though Free Britain had lit a torch in the darkness, it was such a faint little light. If the shadows were to be forever kept away, they needed the OFN's torch. For the British, it had been a simple decision. The OFN would commit themselves to totally in defense of the Isles. John F. Kennedy was cursed to see it in a different way. To see the devastation of the American escalation might bring if they failed to repel the Germans. A thought crossed his mind. Perhaps words might be better here. Sit down with the Germans, figure out what the price they might pay for the liberation of Great Britain. Surely they'll talk now. He felt like a traitor just thinking about it. Yet treason felt like a lesser crime than the title of history might bestow upon him if the crisis got out of his hands. He walked to the door and opened it. There the inner circle waited like children who had heard the family car pull into the garage. They had looked at him with confusion, eagerness, and the most quiet pity for the president might ever receive. So is there anything else we can do? 'Cause right now it's the confrontation stage. I mean, I wouldn't mind spending 250 to kind of talk, but I need more political power. Right? We do get 2.13 per day, which is pretty good. And we now do have a new focus. So this should, I'm assuming, get canceled at midnight, maybe? Or not. Okay, no, there we go. Okay, it's been canceled. So here's my guess. At some point between here and here, Kennedy might be assassinated, but we'll go for the Kennedy presidency. Gives us 100 political power, which I mean, we really actually do need for our future plans. An ugly reminder. Everything okay? The ugly American blinked and found himself sitting in a small restaurant at the Terre Commune in Port-au-Prince. Around him was a quiet chatting of other tables. A mix of middle-class locals and foreign soldiers and diplomats enjoying the night air. A band played near the street. Across from him sat Mary, a drab woman of 28, who had worked at one of the embassy's many secretaries. He supposed this evening together counted as a date. The ugly Americans gave a solemn smile. Oh, I'm just a little exhausted, learning that the business of diplomacy is less hands-on and more ego-driven than I had imagined it. Well, such is life, she said in a dull voice. It's the way things have always been. No sense in getting worked up over it. He frowned. Before he could say anything, there came sounds of breaking glass, a shout, and a chair clattering. The American turned to see the waiter crouched over the shattered remains of several glasses of a soldier, clearly drunk, rose. You fucking stupid, began the white man as he stumbled onto his feet. The waiter offered a quiet apology, which went unheard, as the other man drew back his leg and kicked the waiter in the chest. He fell over backwards in pain. Then the soldier spat out an ugly word. That's enough, said the ugly American, rising to the table. He walked forward. You have no right to treat this man or any other Haitian this way. We came here to serve to give these people freedom. Every act of violence dishonors the uniform. He did not get out the rest of the words as the man's fist connected with his face. There was shocked silence as he toppled to the nearby table onto the floor. The taste of blood filled his mouth. He caught a glance of Mary at the table, looking away, as the drunk man stepped forward and leaned down. I'll do whatever the fuck I want, he spat. Then the feds are going to have to clean it up. Don't forget that. He felt the man spit on him as he lay still until the man stumbled away into the night. Was there anything else we can do with Haiti right now? I mean, no, because they have no political power. So, what about the home front? Because I think the home front is still looking pretty good. All things considered. Yeah, no, I mean, it's all looking about as nice as you could want it. Okay, this is probably another... Oh, no, okay, that's for Algeria. Move in here for the kill. You are supporting the assisting in taking over Newcastle. I think Blue Army, you just kind of like go for it. A Richard from Nixon to successor, Jack. While the hands of fate may often made you and I political opponents, I've always treasured the fact that we were personal friends during our time in Congress. That friendship is something that I remained mindful of during my time in the White House. Even if we did not always agree on matters of policy, I never wished you anything but the most profound success, and, as my staff can attest, I've always spoken highly of you and your abilities. In the weeks to come, I hope that you will look fondly at our time working together. Though the press may say things about my conduct in the coming weeks, remember that I did not, or what I did, was for the betterment of the country and for its people. I hope that you will remember that, and for the countless signs of support I provided you with over the past few years. With any luck, this business will soon be behind us both, and the nation will continue to think fondly of our many successes. If Pat or I can be helpful in any way, we will be honored to be at your command. Sincerely, Richard Nixon. It ignites feelings of mild taste before being filed away. Kennedy's just like, I don't want that shit. Get that out of here. Okay, so you are almost dead. We'll take out Newcastle soon. You move in here as well. Okay, we're going to set you right now just be careful battle plan. Primarily just so I don't want I don't want our units doing something stupid. Which I mean they're kind of doing right now. So actually, let's shrink this line down even more. Like, just to be here. Get our reinforcements up. When these guys are dead, we'll have 8 divisions on that front, which should be more than enough. Like, our units are really good. For the most part. So we should be able to kind of walk through Southwest Africa. Or at least that's the plan. Okay, so we've gotten our technology for intelligence. Is there anything else we can do here? No, but okay, we want to get next. Pictogram counter, why not? Now, I don't think any of these have been important yet, but we want to make sure we're getting them going. You guys deploy over here, please. There goes Newcastle, and again, that's going to free up all of our allies to go somewhere else. Algeria. Who are you allied with? You're actually allied with the Italians. Okay. So Iberia did lose their conflict there. And again, there's actually a lot of allied forces that can now be redeployed to more important fronts. So I want you here. Move your way to Kitmanshuk. Because let's see. You're at 86. Do you capitulate any easier than maybe other countries here or no? 25%. Because you are... So, okay, you collapse at 25. You please. You collapse at 25. You collapse at 30. But all 3 of them are major countries. So they won't just all collapse at one fell swoop, unfortunately. Okay, anything we want to do here? Conduct analysis, gather intelligence, launch more air patrols. Germany readiness will decrease by 5%. Let's get that going. But there's currently no negotiations currently active. Is there anything I can do to make my position stronger? I think the answer is yes, but I need more political power for that, which I don't really have. So we'll save up. And once the Kennedy presidency is done, we'll get a plus 100 off of that, which will be quite nice for us. Because where's your capital? Windhoek. And here comes all of our reinforcements. We can probably take this city next. Where are your supply hubs? Kind of like nowhere, honestly. Japanese opera. So you're actually a supply hub. But we are going to get some units going in that direction soon. Let's have you guys move your way up. Let's see if you can capture this airfield as well. Problem is, of course, the Boer territory is like very similarly colored to South Africa, so it's kind of hard to tell when we're zoomed in who exactly controls what. Yeah, like once all these units get to where they need to be, like I'm feeling extremely good about South Africa right now. Now, for the Philippines, you're kind okay. The Philippines, I'm now feeling a little bit less good because you're now over here. And I don't believe you can transport, right? No, because that's not how volunteers work. Okay, well, you just kind of hang out there for now. The conscience of the Senate. Senator Philip Alois, Hart of Michigan, was close to the end of his tenure. It had been mere days since information of Nixon scandals and corruption caused his presidency to collapse amidst impeachment proceedings. God, how it all infuriates me, Hart thought. How avoidable it all was. How pointless all this corruption turned out to be. If they wanted to ruin the NPP so badly, surely they could have done it through honest means. Honest means. That was another thing that Hart had always been treasured as a senator. It was why the partly admiring, partly jealous congressmen and senators of the Capitol called him the consciousness of the Senate. Wherever he went, he found he had striven towards honesty. He had fought hard and honestly on the ruined battlefields of Europe, just as he now did in the Senate, not seeking advancement through corrupt means like the former president and so many others did. For Philip Hart, however, this ruinous madness cut even more quickly than it did for the others. How in the good Lord's name will all this American nation care for its people if the president cares only about himself? If this isn't a disaster, what on earth is it? Hart knew his tolerance was failing. It had only been so long before he could have to do something more about all of this, rather than settling in for being the capital's morality pet. Okay, so I think when we have 35 political power, we can put some more effort into... Okay, where's your next supply hub? Windhoek. So I guess we should probably be pushing our way towards that. If we are able to. Move you here. 78, 79. Uppington should collapse pretty quickly. And Uppington is a South African territory. This one tank is so close to being killed off. It's kind of crazy. I can't recall volunteers, right? No, I can only send them. I mean, I guess I could theoretically just kill them off. But that doesn't actually seem super useful. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so the tank, I mean, he's got great defense. Where's my Air Force? I need all of you now in Southwest Africa. You know, you might as well fly here. I don't know if it makes any difference, but having them be close by, I'm sure, is probably better than having them be, like, too far away. We know Germany has some aircraft here. Let's put a little bit of pressure on you. Uppington will collapse in all of our allies. We have another division kind of encircled here. I mean, what I'm really most worried about is Germany's forces directly. You know, whatever. Okay, so, you know, stop the attack. That's why you're attacking stupidly. Is because I've have you on an attack plan. I almost never want you doing this. I only wanted you to do it when I was kind of focusing on trying to clear up the encirclements. You know what? Actually, I want to do. Pull you one province out. And I want to pull you one province in. Where are you going to go? You're going to go up a little bit more. The tiers of a continent. A man from Angola climbed the staircase 2 steps at a time. Surprised he hadn't been stopped yet. At the top, you would find the office of the man they called Mr. Joe Kennedy, the American king or prime minister or whatever it was that they had. The big boss. Anyway, there it was. He'd been able to plead his case, and perhaps they could help. A young man stepped out of his office and looked at the Angolan with surprise. Sorry, he said, but you can't just walk in there. Was this John Kennedy? He tried to remember the lines he practiced in the mirror. Excuse me, are you Jawa Kennedy? The white man looked at him with a furrowed brow. I'm his brother, Robert. What is this about? Who are you? The Angolan struggled to remember the right words in English. I am Angolan. I come here to America because of the Germans. They caused much suffering. Since I come here, I ask for the help of Angola. As they say, America is for freedom, but nobody lets me speak. I want to speak to Joe Kennedy for my people. Robert Kennedy had heard about the killings in Angola. The Germans had been slaughtering people all over the world for 20 years, and the man has become desensitized to it. But he thought maybe it was worth trying. Even if they had only saved a few people, surely it was worthwhile. Surely he had a duty to convince his brother. Kenny smiled at the Angolan. Well, you sure don't have an appointment, but why don't you come on in? I'm sure we can spare a few minutes for your concerns. Okay. We want to become more more internationalist. I do not want even a hint of isolationism out of my country right now, because we're winning. You don't go isolationist when you're winning. Are you encircled? Oh, you are encircled, actually. The battle's ahead. John F. Kennedy shifted uneasily in his chair in the Oval Office. Nixon had resigned only very recently, and he still was just getting used to sitting at the this side of the Resolute desk. Now, not only did he have to manage all the problems afflicting the government, but he also had to cast an eye ahead on the next election where the sharks were already circling. He felt like a man being dragged in all directions. Look ahead to 1964, Kenneth O'Donnell, a close aide, said. It looks like George Wallace is consolidating more of his support on the NPP's right, but the pact is still a madhouse that we may not know who their nominee is for some time. Well, as long as it isn't Romney, Kennedy said heavily, I think we're in decent shape. We do not want to run against Romney. No vices whatsoever, no drinking, no smoking, nothing but quiet prayer on the decision to run with a message given by the Almighty. The president laughed dryly. Can you imagine any of us doing that? Doing this sober? Chuckles from the staff. President of the Oval Office followed. Washington had a way of driving a man to drink. My friends in Michigan, the president's brother, Robert, broke in through the laughter. They tell me that the Detroit press won't be backing him for any run out of the state. They're still in our corner, for now at least. Or want to keep the good governor close to home. The president's eyes closed with relief. One fewer threat for 64. Thank God. Wallace, a bigot as populist, was beatable, particularly given his limited appeal beyond the firmly segregationist quarters. But Romney had the potential to not only unite the NPP under a moderate, but also poach reliable RD voters. Now about Africa. Now again, we don't know who we're going to necessarily side with. How many? We have 3 divisions here. Who we're necessarily going to have as our nominee for the NPP yet? Hey, okay, we have 150 political power. That's actually really nice. Save the country. Stability goes up. Increase support. We can mend the rifts. Let's heal the people, sure. Democracy in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. has always been a rather interesting relationship within the United States. As the capital of the nation, it isn't officially part of any state. Instead, a district governed by the U.S. Congress as a whole to ensure that any local government could not overpower the federal seat. When it was half-built, swampy square of land where few lived, if they could help it, this presented few problems. But as the nation grew, so did Washington. And with over 750,000 people living within its borders, more than 11 states in the Union from 1960 census, it seems hypocritical for the population of the capital of the world's most important democracy that they shouldn't be able to vote for their leaders. The recently passed 22nd Amendment has changed that. The citizens of Washington, D.C. now have the right to vote for president's elections, granting them no more electoral votes than the smallest state in the Union. So just 3 electoral votes for the 1964 election. The city is a buzz of activity, with voter registrations, drives are taking place, and polling stations and school gymnasiums, fire stations, and community centers are taking place, as a high turnout is expected among the residents and citizens of the city. For many, this is a long time coming. The historical injustice finally righted. For others, this is only the first step. For while they can now vote for the resident of the White House, other avenues for political representation are missing. D.C. has no members of the House of Representatives, nor the 2 senators that the other 50 states have, and no ability to help change the Constitution that they had so long denied them their rights. Washington doesn't have its own mayor. Instead, the city is overseen by a disinterested committee of Congress, so they still have work to be done. So I think we're going to stop you. Let's see if we can move in, clean this up. Again, the more pockets we can kill, the stronger our position is going to be by a pretty substantial amount. And if you guys could go north just a little bit faster, I would be very happy with that. But I don't know how long it's going to take you to get up there. And what do you think's happening? Shall I first? Did somebody get annexed? Okay, I'm honestly not too sure what had occurred. Let's bring more divisions up here. Then you will move your way into this direction. You're holding on decently enough. Actually, what if we have you go here? Move your way down south to assist. This super heavy tank Do I honestly just, like, disband you? We'll get our manpower back. Honestly, I'm going to get rid of you because I think you're kind of dog shit. And then we'll just send in another unit. One of you... Because you don't have the attack helicopters. And people have been saying that attack helicopters are, like, really good. So the basic infantry, I think you're the ones that have the helicopter, right? Yes. So what if we were to... I mean, other than that, I mean, I also do like the mechanized divisions. But they also have penalties in a lot of areas as well, which is like kind of like not good. So, you know, let's just deploy these units. We're going to get rid of one of you. And then we'll send one over to South Africa to reinforce. And then the other ones that I had not assigned, you will just go to the border with Canada for now. Again, nothing too crazy, but I think it's still nice to have. Can I have you assist in this attack? Yes, we can. And they keep on trying to take Kitman Shop, which is very rude for them to do. Also, with their political power, we need to do a lot of stuff. We need to reassure voters. Let's reinforce our current position. Let's gather intelligence. And we'll get a direct line to Germania. We know that they're extremely ready. That's not great. If it's high, okay, what's considered high? Embolden nuclear fears. Well, we know at bare minimum it's halfway full. So fuck it, let's try it. We'll risk it all, baby. We'll risk it all. But I'll say it at least for right now. It's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, remember thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, you can always thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.